What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Brendan, and I'm BMAX45, and today we're coming at you with another video. We have another in our How to Build series. We are looking at Omnimon DNA, not Adventure, not Omnimon Adventure. The new cards from AD01 are going to be adventure-themed cards, but we like them better in the Omnimon DNA deck, just because I think it brings more synergy to that deck. We're not sure how Adventure is going to play with the new support, but we're looking at some of the new support. Some of this new support we think doesn't really fit, some of the new support that we think does fit, and seeing how the Omnimon deck would change up in this format, because I really do love DNA decks, and this is a really cool one, so we're looking into that. So we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about the deck, talk about what cards we think are still going to get played, and which new ones we think might get played, and which other ones we might not get played. And just look at how we might build Omnimon DNA for AD01 format. And hey, if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to smash that like button, comment down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss a single minute of fun. And we're currently 1 day away from AD01. Hopefully we get our stuff. Still waiting on the premium heroines set, as well as the LM6 boxes, which are all pretty much coming out all at the same time, although premium heroines came out last week. So hoping to have all that stuff so I can do box reveals or box openings for you guys very, very soon. All right, well, let's get right into it. Of course, we always start with the eggs. My two eggs for this deck, depending on how you're going to build your rookies, is going to be either Koromon or Sumomon. If you're going to play mostly red and blue Agumons, like if you're going to play the BT17 Agumon and Gabumons, as well as the BT22, you're going to play Koromon, because they can all Digivolve on a red. If you're going to play the black Agumon and Gabumon searchers from EX3, you're going to play the Sumomon, because the Sumomon is a CS trait. So your BT22 guys can Digivolve on him, as well as your EX3. I want to say it is EX or EX4. We'll get to that in a second. But your black Agumon Gabumon can also Digivolve on him, and when any of your Digimon with the identified or CS trait are played, you get to draw one. So I like this one generally because you draw before you have to do any kind of attacking, whereas which can get you the piece you need to finish your combo. Whereas the Koromon, you have to remove a security card. Both are really good, but I would say the Sumomon I feel is better for this deck, just because it gets you a draw early. But you also gotta have the right cards, so it could be hard too. Now, coming over to the deck, of course, we're going to play probably max out on BT22 stuff, because the CS trait's just so good. You got your Agumon and Gabumon, which both have end-of-turn DNA. Gabumon is a searcher. He reveals top 3, adds Omnimon in text, 1 card with Omnimon in text card, and 1 card with the CS trait, so potentially 2 targets, and then returns the rest of the bottom of the deck. So again, more CS cards the better, whereas the Agumon, you can return 1 Digimon card with Greymon, Gurumon, or Omnimon in its name from your trash to the hand. That's on play. And then same, yeah. So both are really good. I don't necessarily see, you don't always have to play 4 of this. I think you could play less, like 3, just depending on how you do your rookie ratios. You're obviously going to play 4 of this searcher because it is the best searcher. There's also again, if you're going to go with like the BT17 stuff, this Agumon has a start of main. If you have a Tamer with Taikami in its name, return 1 card with Gurumon, Greymon, Omnimon saved to the trash. It also has inheritable DNA Digivolve, and the BT17 Gabumon, which has, if you have a Tamer start of your main phase with Matt in its name, draw 1. So depends on how you play the deck. These are both really good cards. The BT17 stuff is way weaker. It's all start of main, so at least you can push up and use it. Is the nice thing about that. The idea is if you're going to play the Sumamon, you're going to play these black guys that are on play searchers. And if you have those guys, you can put them in the back, move up the Sumamon, and hopefully maybe like go into the Gabumon that searches you and get some pieces. That's usually kind of where you want to be. And the nice thing is the Gabumon searches your Nokia Tamer. You can play Mirai. We didn't put Mirai on this list, but you can play Mirai, which helps you get to Nokia faster, in which case that's a CS card. You can search out your CS Omnimon, and you can search out your... Well, you can search out a card with Omni and text, so it doesn't really matter if you use that as your CS trait card. And you can search out your War Greymon and your Melgarumon. So generally, we lean towards like 4 of the CSs and playing the blacks, but you could play the reds instead. I don't think there's really a case for either. I think both have its own consistency mechanics and its own problems too, because they both have their own problems, because the EX4, Gabumon, and Agumon, they both reveal top 3. Add a card with Greymon if it's Agumon, Garurumon if it's Gabumon, and then 1 card with Agumon, Greymon, or Omnimon, or Gabumon, Garurumon, or Omnimon, depending on which card you're looking at. And then you place the rest on the top of your deck in any order. So you put cards back on the top of your deck, which can be good or bad. So, but it has the nice caveat of when one of your other Digimon Digivolves gain 1 memory. So if you can work it that you play with your Nokia, if you play the right card, you can draw off the Sumamon, and then if you Digivolve the right way, you can then gain memory off of the black ones. And that's why people play that. If we go into our megas, because we warp up to our megas, you have the BT22 Metal Garurumon, BT22 War Greymon. They both warp during the hand or main. If you have a Nokia, one of your Gabumons can Digivolve into this card for a cost 6, ignoring Digivolution cards, or vice versa if it's a Agumon. And then when Digivolving, you have 2 abilities. Activate one of the effects below. One of your Agumon may Digivolve into a War Greymon in the hand, ignoring the Digivolution requirements without paying the cost. Or return one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level to the hand. And then alternatively, the Black War Greymon's the same thing, but it's like one of your Gabumon can Digivolve into a Metal Garurumon in the hand, ignoring its Digivolution requirements and without paying the cost. And then, or you can delete an opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. They also have their same inheritables. If this Digimon has Omnimon in its name, it unsuspends or when attacking, and they're both when attacking. This Digimon has Omnimon in its name, trash your opponent's top security card, which helps you check through really fast. So these guys, I think, are still going to be 4-ups. I want to say these guys are still going to be 4-ups. I feel like you're still going to play at least a couple copies of the BT17 stuff, which has the same inheritables as the BT22 stuff, but it's not CS trait. And they're the hard play Metal Garurumon, War Greymon. So when this card would be played, if you have a Tamer with Matashita in its name, or Tai Kamiya, if it's your War Greymon, you can reduce the play cost by 3. So you can play these guys for, was it 9? No, not 9. 8. You can hard play these guys for 8. And then on play when Digivolving, activate one of the effects below. One of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers can't suspend until the end of the turn, or one of your Agumon can Digivolve into a War Greymon and the hand ignores Digital requirements. So this helps you, like, where if you don't have both rookies on board, you can then, if you don't have both rookies on board, you can slam this down and still get to your Omnimon, as long as you have the corresponding rookie on the other side. And then the Wargreymmon's the same thing, same inheritable as the BT22, and it can do the same thing with a Gabumon if you, and it'll be reduced by 3 if you have that matte tie Tamer on, because you just got to have the tie Kami in its name. And then it deletes one of your post Digimon with 8,000 DP if you don't use the Digivolve effect. So yeah, so those I think are going to be the plays for these decks, just because I don't think we're going to be playing things like this new adventure. So we got some new adventure cards. Excuse me, guys. That are Metal Garurumon and Wargreymon. We got this one here, which has blocker, evade. You can Digivolve on an adventure or hero trait card for cost 3, level 5, or Garurumon level 5 for cost 3. It's got on play when Digivolving, when attacking once per turn, delete one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon. Then for every 2 your Tamer colors, one of your opponent's Digimon can't suspend until their turn ends. All turns when your Digimon suspend, this Digimon may unsuspend. And then it has when attacking inheritable. When this Digimon has Garurumon or Omnimon in its name, one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers can't suspend until their turn ends when attacking. I just don't think it's as good as, you know, the regular version. We also have, but it is for the adventure deck, really, and truthfully. You also have the new Wargreymon, which has Raid and Piercing. It has a when attacking inheritable once per turn, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon with Greymon or Omnimon in its name. Cost 3 again on a Greymon level 5 or a level 5 adventure or hero trait as well. It's got on play when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with as much or less DP as this Digimon, and then all turns this Digimon gets plus 1,000 for each of your Tamer colors and gains security attack plus 1 for every 3 of their colors. And then end your turn, one of your Digimon may attack. So again, these guys just seem better for the adventure deck, better for a different play style, whereas Omnimon is about like OTKing, killing you as fast as possible, which is where we have our Omnimons here. We have, of course, CS trait Omnimon with decode for your level 3s. Blocker, it's got on play, delete, and when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. When Digivolving, for every 2 same level cards this Digimon stack has, return 1 of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of the deck. Then this Digimon may attack. So it's really, really good. This guy's still really good because he's got the May attack, so you don't have to get the Matt and Tie Tamer down. I still think you're going to play this guy because Decode is a strong ability, and just being able to bomb deck stuff and attack is super good with this deck, because then you can trash one on suspend, and then you still got a blocker on your opponent's turn, and you basically take out 2 cards with 1 swing. I don't know about Omni Ace. I feel like Omni Ace is the one that might get replaced because Aces are just kind of dying in this game. We're probably playing mostly one of it in most builds of this deck, but it is nice because you can, you know, if you have Miraculous, but I think your people have learned how to play around that card, and so it's just not as good as it used to be with the Raid blocker. And then on play when Digivolving, if DNA Digivolving, choose one of your opponent's Digimon and return all of your opponent's Digimon at the same level as it to the bottom of the deck. Then delete one of your opponent's Digimon. It's all right. This is where we get into this. Like, we got the new Omnimon, the new Adventure Omnimon, which I really think is going to be really great for this deck. Is why I want to play this deck. And more is because I think this Omnimon makes a huge difference to the deck. And it's got Raid, Blocker, Partition. So if it dies, other than by your own effect or battle, and it's Omnimon, so it's not dying by battle. You may play one of each of the specified cards without paying the cost. So on play when Digivolving, return all of your opponent's Digimon with as many or fewer Digillusion cards as this to the bottom of the deck. Then delete one of your opponent's Digimon. All turns once return when any of your opponent's Digimon leave the battle area. Trash one of their option cards in the battle area and trash your top security card. So this trashes options, first of all, which is so awesome. trashes top security card when you send your opponent's stuff away, and it sends your opponent's stuff away right on play when digivolving. Doesn't even have to be a DNA digivolve. That's a crazy thing. You can digivolve on this for 5. It doesn't attack, unfortunately. So that's where like you need to have the Matt Tamer on board. But Partition from War Greymon and Melgrumon is just so good on a card. It just, especially like because then you can just DNA back into an Omnimon. It's so good. So we like this. We're not sure how many copies are going to get played. Are we going to play 2, maybe 3? It's hard because it depends, like, are you going to play 3 copies of this guy? And then you also have cards like Omnimon Ultra S, which was used for the OTK, which was really good. But is he going to be necessary anymore? Because the end of attack allowing you to basically un-DNA, put your Gurumon and Melgrumon and War Greymon on the board, and then go into another one. Because that was the thing, OTK, right? Like you could check 2 cards, check a third, because you trashed one with the inheritable, checked a card, unsuspended, checked another card, which is 3, and then you put them on the top of your security stack, and then you got your 2 level 6s back, re-DNA digivolved, and now your effects are live again. So then you would check another 2 cards and then check for game. So that was the OTK. So this one is kind of cool because it lets you check in one. Like he trashes a card and then you trash, check, and unsuspend. So you're checking an extra card with his ability, but then you can't get the OTK because you can really only do 4. I think you can only really do 4 because you get 2 trashes, a check, and an unsuspend, and then another check if you wanted, which would be 4. And a lot of people wouldn't do that because then you got blocker, so you probably only check the 3. But it does put a little bit more punishment on the board with his Altern's ability. Plus his Altern's ability would be, during their turn if they try to attack and you block it. And even if they try to kill your guy and you partition, you can potentially have 2 abilities on the board. So I think it's a little bit stronger. I'm thinking that you're going to probably play like 2 or 3 copies of this and then 2 or 3 copies of this, depending. You might still play 1 Ultra S for the OTK. I don't know about Ultra B. Ultra B was another way to get the OTK because you could use his one digital ability when attacking to trash 3, but you'd have to have a way to attack, so you'd have to have the Matt and Tamer. So you could play like 1 of this or 1 of this. You could also play Omni for like a check. It just depends. Like if you start early game and you're checking 1 card with an Agumon or a Gabumon, you can easily OTK with like this combo as well. So it really depends what people think are just the best way to do this. And because you can get to Omni so easy, cost 2 to go over that's not that bad either. So yeah, I definitely think it just depends on your preference, really, which OTK method you like the best, which way you're trying to like direct the deck. You could play any one of these and it would just give you access to the OTK. But I definitely think the new AD01 gets a spot and gets a main spot. And I think Ace maybe gets dropped. Of course, we have our Tamers. So we have Nokia, the one that lets you play a Gabumon or Agumon if you have 1 or less Digimon. So this card I think is still super important. You have to play multiple copies of this. It also gives you plus 1,000 to all your Greymon, Gurumon, or Omnimon. So that's great. And then it's a memory tamer. And the other card we didn't talk about was Mirai Mikagura from the BT22. She's really good. Mika. Of course, she's not coming up because all those cards have her in text. So there we go. BT22 Mirai. This is another card that you could potentially play because it lets you draw. It lets you trash a card and trash a CS cards. The more CS cards you have, draw 2, which helps you get into your deck, and then start of your main phase, you can bottom deck this to play your Nokia. So you don't have to hard play this for 5 all the time. So this is really good. This is a really good combo to get that out. And then, of course, you also have the Nokia Shiramina from BT5. People played like 1 copy of this in the past. I don't know if it's really amazing, but it is a cool card because you get to play a Gabumon or Agumon when you play it. And then whenever you Digivolve, you can reduce Digivolution cost by 1. So it helps you maintain enough memory to not pass turn with your Warp abilities. Because you kind of need 6, right? Like if you have the Nokia here, you have 3 memory automatically. And then you can play free rookies. So you can probably get 2 rookies on the board for free. Either by just promoting and playing, or by just playing, using her ability at start of main to play 2 free rookies, right? So that's good as well. And then, of course, we do want to play the Ty and Matt. Probably playing a couple copies. We'll be playing max copies of this. If we play this, we're playing 1. And we're probably playing at least 2, if not 3 copies of this. Because you got to see it. Because you got to put that down. There's no way to... There is one way, which is the Greymon. And I was thinking about this, and I was like, do we have room for the Greymon? The white Greymon, if I can find him here, from what's this? From BT17. This site used to be so much better to find stuff, but it's just not anymore. And it doesn't scroll worth crap. So yeah, so the Greymon, which is the BT17 Greymon. We also got like new Garurumon cards and Greymon cards in AD01, but they don't really move the needle at all either. I didn't even put them in here. You can see this one here got Inheritable Raid. I almost thought it would be cool if this deck would eventually be like a deck that allowed you to just kind of warp up really fast. That would have been really cool. Wow, they really do not make it easy to find this stuff. There's the BT17 Greymon. Wow, geez. BT17. Maybe I'll just go 17. Maybe that'll be easier. We can get in there. Ooh, color. White. There we go. So this Greymon that would have been so much easier. This Greymon is a potential option to help you play a Matt or Ty because of its on deletion. You can Digivolve on a Agumon and then potentially just swing with it, hoping to die and get your free Matt or Ty Tamer. It's something that I've tested this in the deck and it's not terrible, but if you don't die and your opponent outs it and you don't get your on deletion, it's not worth it. That's the one thing. So the on deletion is nice, and the fact that you can the better play obviously is to re-digivolve into an Agumon. But you got to have a Koromon. Then you have to play the Koromon. So you can re-digivolve into an Agumon, warp, do the DNA play, and then you're more likely to get that on deletion with the CS Omni, because you're more likely to, have your opponent have to kill the monster rather than out it. So I do think that's kind of cool. An option to help you get, because you don't have a way to get your Matt and Ty Tamer. I mean, there's the EX9 Matt and Ty Tamer as well, which gives you some draw power. But the reason we want to play this one, I believe, is the better one, is because the end of your turn, one of your Digimon with Omnimon may attack a player. That's just a better one. And you gain memory if you have a Greymon or Garurumon. So when you Digivolve, you wait till your last Digivolution, and then you check with that card, suspending it to gain 2 memory. So it reduces your hard play from 8 to 6, and it reduces your warp to 4. So at that point, you only need 1 memory to maintain turn, whether it's the Nokia tap, or if it's like, say, one of these black guys giving you a Digimon with their inheritable, one of these black Agumons or Gabumons. So there is so many ways to maintain turn. And of course, we also have Miraculous Mega Knight, because it lets you play a Gabumon or Agumon from your trash for cost 2 without paying the cost. Then it stays in the battle area, and you can use it when one of your Garurumon or Greymons would be deleted. You can then DNA with the other card in your hand. So that's really good, especially if you can force your opponent into making that happen. So that's kind of good. The other cool thing too is, like, if you have partition or something like that, and you put your level 6s on the board, and your opponent's trying to deal with them, and you have this card in the back, it's pretty good, because as long as you have 1 of each copy in the thing, there's no way that they can get around another DNA. So that's just kind of nice. But that is all the cards for the deck. We're not getting much that we can really put into this deck, but the Omnimon is really the main thing, and it makes the biggest difference. It'll be interesting to see how we run this deck, because it's always about balancing, I think, really your Nokia and your Mat and Tai, because the more time you spend hard playing Tamers, the worse. So like things like Mirai already make this card really, really good. Hard playing this on turn 1 is really, really good, because on play you can play a Gabumon, so you get value from it right away. This doesn't really do much until you get up to Omnimon, so hard playing that for 4 is harder. Because it just wastes a turn, and that slows your game, and unfortunately, if the game slows, you potentially lose. So that's kind of where we're at with this support. Tell us what you guys think about playing the new adventure cards in Omnimon. Like I said, I'm thinking this is the one that is really making this deck a lot better. But somebody might build an adventure deck that's way better than Omnimon DNA. So we'll have to wait and see. And let me know your guys' thoughts about that down below. Looks like that's all the time we have for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we hope to see you in the next video. And as always, have a wonderful day. And that's all for now, folks.